was
Watching
bad.
cops.
Yeah. So this is What's with the Neighbors. That is Bree.
And that is Amy, my best bud.
Bree, I have a question for you.
Go for it.
Okay. What is your nope moment? Like the thing that would make you run out of a haunted house immediately.
Someone crawling on the ground.
Ugh, yeah, I wouldn't like that.
And especially like if it's like not actual crawling, but like they're like hunched over.
Yeah.
And like the strobe lights, and it looks
Yeah.
like they're getting closer and closer, and then they're just like right there in your face. Or
Yeah.
old people.
I don't want
Even
do
more
that
so
either.
than little people. Like children, they freak me out. But like older people, ever since that movie, what is it, The Visit or whatever it was, where the old people ended up having like the sundowns.
Yeah.
Which is like, it was such a good movie, but also it ended kind of funny.
I forgot about that movie.
That movie was so stressful.
So I ask because Alice and I went to a haunted house on Saturday, and it was a lot for me. I was like, I kept telling myself, like, Amy, you know, this isn't real. Like, I knew it wasn't real, but it was like 30 minutes of just constant jump scares. It was so bad. And like, it was, so you start off in like an old Oregon Trail type of wagon, not going anywhere, but it's like simulates, like, it has the hydraulics to like make it feel like you're in a wagon.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was another part where it's supposed to simulate that you're on like an old elevator. And it was really cool. Like, they did a great job at it. It was the best haunted house I've ever been to. But I was, it was constant. Nope, 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 nope. Oh my God. It was bad. I was like running. There was times where I was running away from Alice, like left her behind. And she's at that age where she's just like, "Hi, you're my best friend," and stuff like that, you know, to the characters.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, but I was just like,
I can't wait till we get to that age.
I called Rick right afterwards because he had called me while we were in it, and I was like, "Yeah, what are you?" He's like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, It was
Watching
bad.
cops.
Yeah. It was really, they did such a good job. Such a good job. But not doing that again.
That's awesome, though. You're gonna do it with me one day.
I'll do it.
We're gonna
I'll
go to a
do
haunted
it, but
house.
I'm not gonna be like, you know what sounds like fun? A haunted house. But like, then also, like, I didn't take my anxiety medicine that day, so I was like, is it part of like my anxiety? Because at the end there was two guys chasing us with a chainsaw. You know, they don't put the chain on it.
Mhm.
But like, in my mind, I'm like, what if they actually kill us?
Now you're thinking of like Final Destination stuff.
Yeah. Ugh, crazy.
Anything that could go wrong.
Anything. And I think that there was someone on the ground. I can't remember. But it was really, they did a really good job. It was very well done.
It's awesome. I'm so
Yeah.
jealous.
We had a good time.
That's good. Good.
I'm going first this week. So do you have a neighborhood story?
I do. I want to tell you about my grandma.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about your grandma.
So for the past 4 years that we've been recording, anytime I talk about the podcast to grandma is always like, I just want to listen. I just want to hear you guys. This sounds so interesting. Like, oh my gosh, I want to listen. I don't know how to listen. And she is very technological challenged.
Yeah.
And has trouble getting onto things, and it's hard to explain things to her. So I spent the weekend with her, and on the way to going to her house, it's about 2 hours. I turned on our podcast, and I was like, what's a good episode to start grandma on? And I'm just sitting there trying to go through them and trying to remember what episode each episode's about. I clicked on I can't remember which episode it was. It's a really good episode though. And I was like, I looked at it and I was like, I feel like this one's a really good episode. I don't know what it's about, but I feel like it's good. First 5 minutes, you and I did a bit where you asked me to pull out emojis to rob a bank, and I picked a grandma because she
Yeah.
has cookies and
Yeah.
all this other stuff. And then your story was about Frank Sinatra Jr.'s kidnapping, and grandma was
Yeah.
like talking the entire time, saying like, "Oh yeah, he's so and so. Oh yeah, the whatever club you called them, and this and that." And she's like, "Oh, I remember that." And she was enjoying the heck out of the show. She didn't listen to my part, of course, but she listened to your part, so she liked it. Yep. So there you go, grandma.
It was a good
Grandma, shout out to
episode
my
for
grandma,
her.
everybody.
Is she going to continue to listen?
Probably not,
Yeah.
unless I'm around.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Shout out to grandma. This will be the next
Aw,
episode
love
she
you,
listens to.
Grandma.
Yeah, love you, grandma.
We'll have to remember that. This is
Yeah.
Grandma's episode.
This is grandma's episode. All right. My neighborhood story is a screenshot of a Ring camera doorbell, and I'll show you.
Oh,
Looks like
yes.
Alaska, right?
Yeah.
It says, "Is this a coyote? It might just be the angle, but it looks bigger than a coyote to me. It ate all the cushions off my patio furniture." I
Are they
really hope that they
joking?
were joking. It's
That's
clearly a giant, either a deer or a moose.
an elk.
Yeah, I was about to say, it doesn't look like a moose because it seems like it's
No.
too small to be a moose,
Yeah,
but yeah.
the moose have paddles for antlers.
You're right. Oh, you're right.
Mhm.
Amy's so
That's
smart.
that's an elk.
It's because your mom's house is like taxidermy.
Well, yeah, my dad
Amy
does
Amy
have
knows her
an
animals.
elk in the house.
This is how Amy learned her animals growing up.
It was a tour around the house.
A is for antlers all over my walls. B is for boar in the
Bear
garage.
in the
Bear.
garage. A bear rug on my mom's wall.
C is for
Coyote.
coyote.
You see them out in the street
Or on my wall.
or on my wall. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have a little correction quarter real quick.
All right.
So last week I talked about Ed Gein, right? So last week I talked about Ed Gein. And it was in honor of the new Netflix series that just came out called Monster, the Ed Gein story. Remember when I talked about how the show Mindhunters was based off of a true instance where they interviewed Ed Gein for criminal behavior, like the way that they would like be raised and stuff like that?
You said you thought, you weren't sure.
Well, okay. I was wrong. He was not. It was not Ed Gein. So I started to rewatch Mindhunters that weekend just to like, because like I was thinking about it and I was like, oh, I really like that show, blah blah blah. Well, it ended up that it wasn't Ed Gein that they interviewed. It was Edmund Kemper the third. But they also interviewed Jerry Brudos, Richard Speck, and the BTK killer. So those were like all the people that they interviewed to like understand their mind and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that being said, in honor of Halloween, I figured I would share another spooky murderer. Are all the murderers spooky though? I don't know.
I mean, I'm scared of murderers, so yes.
Yes. I figured I would share another. Yeah. So, or should I say, a real serial killer?
Because Ed
Ed
Gein was
Gein.
not.
Oh. So I'm going to tell you about Edmund Kemper III. So this guy was a real problem. Like, for sure, was a problem. Okay.
Starting it out on a very positive note.
Yeah. Yeah. So Edmund was born on December 18th, 1948 in Burbank, California. He was the middle child with an older and younger sisters. His father was Edmund II. He was a World War II veteran. His mother's name was Clarnell. She was a native from Montana. Clarnell described their marriage as loveless and damaged. So great. His father also described their marriage as loveless. Well, this is a quote he said. He said, "Suicide missions in wartime and the later atomic bomb testings were nothing compared to living with Clarnell."
My God.
Excuse me? Do you love her?
Why are
I
we
can't
still
tell.
married?
Yeah. So, based off of what I could find, she was not a nice lady. She was verbally abusive to her husband. Nothing was ever good enough for her when it came to her husband. Her verbal attacks to him were sharp and fierce. When it came to her son, Ed, she coddled him in fear of turning him gay.
Oh, wait, what?
That's
What?
not how that works.
Yeah, like, okay.
So Ed started to show dark sexual fantasies. He would often decapitate his sister's dolls. And in second grade, he stalked his second grade teacher outside of her house. And
In second grade?
in second grade, he was found following her home carrying a bayonet from his father's time at war
What?
as a second grader.
Bayonet? I don't know.
Bayonet? Anyways, so
Dude,
it's a
second
really
grade?
long sword or knife. Yeah, second grade. And so I want you to know, I spoke with my army and bayonet expert who advised me that the average World War II bayonet blade was generally a 10-inch blade.
Dear God.
Yeah, so like a second grader just like walking around with that.
Okay, I have a new nope.
It's the second graders. um and also my expert bayonet person was my husband. So
Figured.
Ed also liked to play this game with his sisters called Gas Chamber, which
I
is
remember that game.
you do?
That was a fun game we played as children. Good. Remind me of the
Okay.
uh,
I liked to play London Bridges, Red Rover, and Gas Chamber.
yeah.
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 So this game, he would blindfold his sisters and tie them to a chair with a cord and pretend to be in agony until they died. Like pretend to die.
What? What?
So
But also I don't want because oh man, why could I see Natalie doing this?
stop! I almost spit out my
She told me the other
shortage.
day. Quick little story. The other day we were learning about EMTs and paramedics, and
Yeah.
she had to draw a picture of her pretending to be a day in the life of being a paramedic, and she drew her and she was pushing like this gurney with a person on it, and she was pushing them towards like an ambulance, and I was like, okay. I said, now you have to write below what you're doing, and she said, oh well, I'm
Gosh.
taking them to the room to cut off their face. I said, "Fucking what? Like,
What?
what?"
Oh my gosh! You told me that you
Yeah.
were gonna tell me that.
Yeah, this is what I was gonna tell you. And I was like,
No,
what are
honey.
you doing to the patient?" And she's like, "I'm helping them. I'm gonna cut off their face." And I was like, "How is that helping them?" And she was like, "Daddy, he had his face cut off." And I was like, "Okay, she's meaning well by this, but she doesn't know how to explain it. I'm totally okay, where are we going?" And I was like, "Do you mean they're getting surgery done?" And she's like, "Yes." Josh had they cut his neck to have
Yeah.
surgery,
Yeah.
so that's what she meant.
Oh
She's
my
going to cut
god.
someone's face off.
Excuse me?
All I picture
Do
is Dwight from The Office with the
yes.
CPR dummy's face.
And then okay, hold on. So thankfully thankfully she was homeschooled for this moment.
Yeah, yeah.
Could you imagine getting a note from the teacher? Go away, Leon.
Your child
Y
needs to go to counseling.
what are you watching at home?
Yep,
Oh my gosh.
that's my girl.
So, this game did not make sense to me, and it doesn't sound like fun, honestly, Could you, like, okay, you're gonna tie me up. Okay, now I need to pretend that I'm in agony until I finally, like, spill over and die? That just sounds terrible. Not fun.
Nope,
They
not a
also
fan.
had a big rug of something, or, like, like a big rug in the room, so they would take turns wrapping each other in the rug, and the person in the rug would have to struggle to get out without any help.
Oh my god.
And so he just, like, he later said that he just would, like to watch the girls, like, struggle.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Which, okay, and then
This is so bad.
at 8 or 9, Ed described going to a magic show at a comic book show, like a comic book shop, and the magician was there and he was doing a trick. And the trick was using a guillotine,
Guillotine.
um guillotine. Uh-huh. The thing that they put the hands in, and then they the way
Separate.
no, 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 so it's like they put the arms in the thing on the
Or where they
wood,
chop
and
the
with
head.
yeah, and they chop the head. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, guillotine, that's what it's called. Um, so he was using one of those, and the magician took a volunteer to chop someone's head off, and Ed got excited. A girl volunteered to get her head chopped off, and Ed described as a girl so beautiful and majestic. Well, the girl put her head in the hole and to get her head chopped off, and the magician pulled the string. The blade came down, and because it's a magic trick, the blade stopped and it doesn't chop her head off, and the girl survives.
Okay.
Right? But Ed described this as like a way to control the way to keep her alive. Like he was in control of her life or death.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
weird
In
at
the
that
interview,
age.
so you can tell, like, in this interview that, like, this small tiny little memory was like played a huge role in his childhood, like the way that he describes everything in great detail, the way he talks about, like, how things smell and, like, the reactions of other people and
Oh
how
wow.
he felt, and, like, it's very, like, I know, like, I have memories from my childhood, but, like,
Right.
not I don't remember things how everything, like, in one memory, how something felt and smelled and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Unless it must have just made that much of an impact on him. That's crazy and also really
yeah,
creepy.
really creepy. So, at 10, he took the family house cat and buried it alive in the
No.
family backyard. And
No.
at 13, he used a knife to kill a cat and buried it in the backyard, and his mom
Oh.
found it.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh
So,
no.
in 1957, Edmund II, the father, left the family, forcing the children to be with just their mother. She was emotionally and physically abusive to Ed, or to just Ed, not her other siblings,
Rude.
his other siblings. Clarnell said she feared Ed because he was just at 15. He was 6'4". That is a big boy.
Damn.
That's a big boy. That's a big boy. She made Ed sleep in a locked basement in fear that he would harm his sisters.
Fair. I mean, it's terrible, but
It's
also,
bleh. So I
can you
feel
blame
like and like we don't know how he was like on a daily basis, right? Like we don't know. And I mean, yes, that's what the interviews were for, was to see how he was on a daily basis, but we don't know, like, day to day. We don't know as average civilians how he was, and so it's hard to not judge her and be like, "Well, why would you do that?" But like
Yeah,
if he was always making like threatening statements to his sisters, that's understandable that you would lock him in. I mean, he did kill 2 cats, like, and
but
mom found one
also
of them.
there's other, like, outlets. You you could have sought help.
You I mean, you could have. It is the 1950s though, so
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay. Then
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't want
yeah, yeah.
people looking at you and like, "Oh, you have
Mm,
a crazy child."
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. So, she locked him in the basement. Uh, In an interview, he said that made him feel bad because everyone could go upstairs and go to bed, and he had to go and sleep in a dark basement.
Oh. That's kind of
Why do I
sad.
kind of feel bad for the guy?
I kind of feel bad for him now.
But also, don't kill
Yeah.
cats. So, he said that his mom would belittle him, tell him that he was worthless, and that no one could ever love him.
Oh my gosh. Does she want to die?
I don't know, Brie, does she? So, at the age of 14, Ed ran away from home and went to go look for his father. And he found his father living in Van Nuys, California. He ended up living with his dad for a little bit, but had to move out because of the stress he was causing his new stepmom and stepbrother. I don't know what stress this was, but it sounds
Sounds like more cats probably went missing.
Yeah, so Ed's father sent him to his grandparents in North Fork, California, and it turns out his grandmother was just like his mother. She was verbally abusive, berated him all the time. It wasn't good, Brie. It wasn't good for him. So Ed is living on this farm with his grandparents. His grandfather gave him a 22 rifle to shoot gophers and rabbits on the farm. This raised concern for his grandmother because she could tell it gave like Ed some like rage, and he would like kill birds and other animals, and she's like, like maybe we shouldn't have like guns on the property. So she hid she hid their handgun in fear that he would take it. And so she was like, maybe we shouldn't have a gun for him, and she take it away. But the grandfather was like, nah, he's fine. He's fine. Let him at least kill these nuanced animals ruining our farm. So she's like, all right, but probably not a good idea.
He's already damaged. Just let him do it.
So August 27th, 1964, Ed has this rage building up inside of him for years, right? He is so angry. He is now 15 years old at the time. He was in the kitchen with his grandmother. We don't know what the argument was about, but they were arguing. His grandmother was sitting at the kitchen table. Ed goes and grabs the handgun and goes behind her, who's sitting at the table, and he shoots her in the head 3 times.
No.
Yeah.
This is not a good grandma episode.
Oh no, sorry, Grandma.
No.
Sorry, Grandma. Oh no. Oh gosh, dang it, I forgot about that.
Literal trigger warning.
Sorry, Grandma.
Sorry.
She probably remembers this story though. His grandfather wasn't home at the time, but his grandfather ends up showing up in the driveway, and Ed thought, you know what? I could probably kill my grandfather too. So before his grandfather could even get into the house, Ed comes out and shoots his grandfather in the head as well. And later, Ed would say he did it because he wanted to protect his grandfather from seeing his dead wife and having a heart attack.
So you
just did it. Yeah, so just did it for him. He calls his mother. He says, Ring, ring. Hi, Mama. I ran away from home and clearly don't like you, but I just killed my dad's parents. What do I do?
Well, okay. What's Mom's advice?
Like, bro, you literally just killed your grandparents. What do you mean? What do you do? You call the police, and if you don't, this is what his mom was saying. Like, you just killed your grandparents. You call the police, and if you don't do it, I'm gonna do it. So Ed ends up calling the police. He does turn himself in. The police bring him in, and they ask him, "Why did you kill your grandparents?" And Ed was like, "Do I quote to see what it felt like?"
Oh. Okay.
Uh-huh. He was handed over to California Youth Authority. There, he met with different psychiatrists to see what was going on with him mentally. He was also given an IQ test, and that is when he learned of his high IQ score. He scored a 136. So, I didn't know what like numbers mean what on an IQ test. Like I know like if the higher it is, the better it is, but like where does it cap out at, you know, and like what's low? Like I know like low is like temperature wise or whatever, like it's low or whatever. Anyways, so 69 and below normally means the individual is intellectually disabled. 70 to 84, the individual may face some academic challenges. 85 to 115 is average intelligence. Majority of the population, roughly 68% of people, fall within one standard deviation of that. 110 to 119 is high average, and 120 to 129 is super intelligence. Okay. And
Wow.
130 and above is very superior or gifted. Approximately 2% of the population score in this range. And a score of 140 and above is sometimes historically associated with genius.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
So,
He's pretty smart.
so Rick had an IQ test done by his psychiatrist, and they said he was borderline genius. So does that mean that he was like 130? That means he's gifted?
I would have other questions about.
Rip me. Like he's too smart. He's
Too
too smart.
smart.
I don't like it. It's not fun
I mean,
for
he's
me.
pretty smart.
He's very smart. He's one of the smartest people I know. There's a reason why this isn't a YouTube channel. Okay. So, anyways, he took the test again later on down the road, and Ed scored a 140.
Wow. That's
So,
crazy.
yeah, so they probably shouldn't have done this because it went straight to Ed's ego. He was like, I'm a mother trucking genius. So psychiatrists did some testing, like I had mentioned, to see if he suffered from mental illnesses. And that's when they discovered that he suffered from being paranoid and psychotic by a court appointed psychiatrist. So Ed was sent to a mental hospital for convicts, and in 1969 he was released. That was only 5 years. He was released.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because
And he killed 2 people.
this confused me, because what do you mean that this man was mentally ill and killed his 2 grandparents, and they now think that he's mentally sane and can be out with the general public? Only 5
Yeah, I would think
years.
he would be in like a mental institution or something at least.
He was, and then they're like 5 years later, oh, he's passing all the things to say that he's mentally sane.
No.
Make it make sense. Make
Yeah.
it make sense. I'm confused. Oh. and his juvenile record, which would show that he is a double murderer, the record was expunged, which means they erased all
So
of his. It was
he's no longer technically, on paper, he's no longer a murderer.
correct.
That's, wow.
Yeah. They literally were just like, yeah, you're doing so good. Let's release him to the general public and erase his record. Like
Oh
he
my
never
God.
did it.
You are not God. You can't just take away sins.
So he was 21 at the time of his release. Doctors told him not to move back in with his mother, but he had nowhere else to go. So he moved back in with his mother in Santa Cruz.
That's healthy.
She had moved there to take a job at the University of California. He still had to check in with parole psychologists to stay accountable for his parole violations, and he knew exactly what to say to them to stay low risk. When he checked in, he seemed fine. Everything seemed fine, normal, like just the average Ed Kemper. So he often would couch surf across Northern California, and when he would run out of places to stay or money, he would return to his mother's house. For a short amount of time, Edward did attend community college and a variety of jobs, but eventually he landed a job at the Department of Transportation. Now, Ed wanted to become a police officer or a state trooper, but Ed was rejected because of his physical size. He was nearly 300 pounds and 6'9". He was
Oh my
too,
god.
I know, he was too large to become a state trooper. They knew about his grandparents' murders, regardless of his record being expunged in his psychiatric evaluations. Despite not being able to become a police officer, he became friends with a lot of police officers, and they gave him the nickname Big Ed. He would hang out in the bars that the local officers would hang out at. That was crushing him because that was his goal. Ed would end up buying a motorcycle because even though he couldn't be one, he wanted to act like an officer. While on his motorcycle, he ended up getting hit by a car and his arm was badly injured. But some reports say it was his head, others say it was his arm. Regardless, something was injured and he ended up receiving a settlement of $15,000 from the driver because it was their fault. With the money, he bought an unmarked police patrol car.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. You know, like the old ones that they would sell like after they use them for so long. So Ed
Mhm.
was feeling some type of way. He was in his feels. He's like, look at me. Do you think he went to Spirit Halloween and got a police officer costume?
I hope so.
Uh, he couldn't be an officer. He couldn't ride his motorcycle because he was injured and it was damaged. He couldn't work because he was healing. So what do you do, Bree? What would you do? Um,
I'd go arrest some people.
I would want it to be remembered that throughout the next few years, Ed is either living on his own or he goes back in with his mother. Like, I'm not going to keep telling you where he's at in this story. So, like,
Okay.
he just keeps going back and forth.
Okay.
So, it just really determined on his financial situation. So Ed noticed a large number of women hitchhiking in the area. He started picking up hitchhikers and even refined his technique to seem trustworthy and understanding of their situation. So he would pick up these women and then he would let them go. Or so like word got out that he was a trusting guy. Like if you see this guy in this car, like he's safe. On May 7th, 1972, he ended up picking up two Fresno girls, state girls, that were asking for a ride. Their names were Mary Ann and Anita. They were both trying to get home from school. Unfortunately, they didn't make it to their destination. So the families of the girls reported them missing, and on August 15th of that year, in a wooded area of Fresno, a woman's head was found, which was later to be determined to be the head of Mary Ann.
Oh.
Anita remains were never found. Later, Ed said that he stabbed and killed Anita and he tried to strangle Mary Ann, and that didn't work. So he ended up stabbing her and cutting her throat. And then he brought the bodies back to his apartment and removed their heads and hands. Then he engaged in sexual activities with their corpses. Yep,
There it is.
there it is. Got him. Later this year, or that year, September 14th, 1972, Ed picked up a 15-year-old named Akio. She actually caught onto his scheme and was tried to escape. So she was hitchhiking as well. Ed had taped her mouth shut and tried to suffocate her by putting her fingers in her nostrils.
Mm,
Okay, so he realized that that wasn't working. No, you don't say. Um, so he took a scarf that she was wearing and strangled her sadly, and then he raped her. Like, she was 15. Like, what a dick. Like, at
oh.
least go for, like, the older kids, you know?
Yeah. That's sad.
So then he places her body into the trunk of a car, and on his drive, he was like, you know what sounds good? A beer. A good old beer.
I was
So
gonna guess Taco Bell.
he goes to that bar with all the officers go to. He grabs a drink with his buddies. Then he goes back to his apartment. He removes her limbs. He also decapitates her. And he drove around with her head and hands in the car for a day in a bag.
Why the head and the hands?
I don't know. So the heads and the hands and the hands and the feet. The heads and the hands and the hands and the feet. The heads and the hands and the is it heads and the ears and the
I don't know, but you're doing a really good job.
Thank you. Uh, then he went to a court-appointed meeting, and after the meeting, he disposed the hands and the head in separate locations. So January 7th, 1973, Ed continued to act on his murderous impulses. He picked up another hitchhiker named Cindy, who he shot and killed. And then while Ed's mother was out of the house, Ed took Cindy's body to the house and he hid Cindy's body in his room.
All right.
So, and just like his other victims, he dismembered her body, and the following day he took bits and pieces of her body and threw them into the ocean. He took her head and buried it in his mother's backyard, and he left her head. Brie, this is so
No.
creepy. So he buried her head in the backyard, but he like faced her head upwards, like it kind of
No.
slanted, so that the face was facing his mother's bedroom.
Why? That's so twisted.
And he, according to him, and I quote, he did this because his mother always wanted people to look up to her. Yeah. I will say her remains that he tossed into the ocean were found by surfers in the area. Yeah.
Dude.
So on February 5th, 1973, Ed and his mother got into a fight, filled with rage, and Ed was ready to kill. He's like, "Oh, catch these hands, mommy." He gets into his car and he uses his mother's campus parking sticker, so he takes that to get onto campus, and Ed stated the next good-looking girl he would kill. The next good-looking girl that he saw he would kill. So he sees two students, Rosalind and Alice, and they are both good-looking. He was attracted to both of them, so he picks them up. I'm going to assume it was like a hitchhiker situation again. I don't know, like how do you get like two girls that are on campus into your car? So I'm guessing like they're like, "Hey, can you take us back to town?" or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
So they need to be brought home. So he picked them up and he didn't stop. Normally he would like pull over and kill whoever was in the car, but this time he didn't stop the car. And then he turns to Alice in the back seat and shoots her several times. And then he turns to Rosalind and shoots her point blank.
That sucks.
Without even like stopping. He's just like,
that sucks.
Boop, 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 boop,
Like
boop,
the
boop.
second girl, I feel so bad for her because like the anticipation, she knows
yeah.
it's happening. She's like,
Yeah.
"Oh crap."
You think she
Here I
said,
go.
"Oh crap"? Like
Damn
it's
it.
like she got her pant leg wet. Oh crap. I'm sure it was a little bit more intense than that.
Fiddlesticks.
Oh my gosh. Then he turns over into a poorly lit cul-de-sac, and he takes their bodies and places them into the trunk of his car. Again, decapitating the heads and dismembering the limbs. This was interesting. He also removed the bullets from their heads and then disposed their bodies in different locations. So, in March of 1973, there were some people out hiking on Highway 1 in San Mateo County. They stumbled upon some heads on their hike and called the police. So, at the time of his murders, there were two other serial killers in the area. One was John Fraser, and the other one was Herbert Mullins. So, they were also perpetrating their own crimes in the area, when then resulted Santa Cruz receiving the nickname the murder capital of the world in the press, which is like, I can't imagine how annoying that would be for the mayor. He's like, "I promise we're a good, safe place."
Who wants that rep?
Yeah. So there was just a lot of murders in the area happening all at once. Very embarrassing. So Ed was dubbed the co-ed murderer and the co-ed butcher by the press. So then, April 1973, Ed would commit his last two murders. On Good Friday, Ed went to his mother's house. According to Ed, he said that they had an unpleasant exchange. You think his mother knew what he was gonna happen? Ooh, spoopy.
Mm.
Then his mother decided to go to sleep. And Ed just couldn't take it anymore. The resentment, the hatred has been building up for years. And like as you like think about this like as the like in a psychology way, like he was taking his rage that he had towards his mother out on these other women.
Yeah.
And so like finally like gonna kill her. I'm gonna do it. He has been dreaming of killing his mother. So while she was sleeping, he beat his mother to death with a claw hammer. Oh, so
Oh,
passionate.
shit.
He dismembered her body just like all of his other victims and he removed her head. He then took her all it says is he then took her remains. Okay. Hold on a second, Bree. Hold on. Okay, let's think about this for a second. Okay. Look. So he's a weird human, right? The things
Yeah.
he did was nasty and he was so bizarre. He
Uh-huh.
dressed in skin. Or Ed Gein was a weird guy. Okay,
Right.
he did weird, nasty things so bizarre. He dressed in skin to pretend to be his mom. But like Ed Kemper the third, that man raped his decapitated mother's head.
No. Her head?
Her head, meaning he forced his mother's head to have oral sex with him. This is literally what he said. Then he put his mother's head on a shelf and screamed at it for an hour and threw darts at it.
What the fudge? Dude.
Then he ultimately smashed her face in.
Oh my god.
That's nasty.
You got some wow.
Okay, here's a would you rather. Would you rather find out that your ex-husband, I'm going to say ex because just to separate yourself a little bit. Find out that your ex-husband wore a body skin suit and pretended to be his mother around the house, or raped your his mother's head, decapitated head.
Definitely the skin soup. That's mm. I mean, they're both mental, but at least the first one is like mental as in like attached mental. And it was like more in a loving way. But there's just straight up like hate and anger
That is a
with
lot of hate
Kemper.
and anger.
Like
That
he
is.
is pissed.
I mean, I feel like Ed Gein, he he had a complicated relationship with his mom for
Right.
sure. I do believe that he genuinely loved her even though she
Yeah.
was so abusive to him.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I would
Ugh.
say that one because
But like at least like with Edmund, like it was a one and done, whereas like Ed Gein, he like continues to do it.
yeah. Yeah.
I
Yep.
still stick with
Yep.
the skin. I still
Yep.
stick with the skin. Ugh.
Hmm.
Okay. So
By the way,
he
if you are Ed or you're with an Ed out there, are you good? Are you good?
stop it. You almost made me spit out my protein shake. Okay. So he ultimately smashed her face in. He also cut out her tongue and larynx.
Larynx.
He also cut out her tongue and larynx, which is her voice box, and put them in in the garbage disposal. However, the disposal could not break down the tongue or the tough vocal cords and ejected the tissue back into the sink. What is it?
Mm.
What we gonna gag? Let's go, girls. Ed later said that seemed appropriate as much as she'd bitch and because of how much she would bitch and scream throughout the years. It would, of course, they would spit back out. He then his mother then he took his mother's corpse and put it in a closet and went to drink at the and have a drink at the bar. Like it was a normal Tuesday.
Great.
He returns from the bar. He then invites his mother's best friend, 59-year-old best friend, 59-year-old woman named Sally, over to the house to watch a movie and have dinner.
Okay, that's
when
weird.
when she arrived, he strangled her, and once she died, he hid her body in a closet, and then he ended up raping her body later that night. Uh, then the next day, Ed fled the area in Sally's car. He, he went to a car rental place to switch vehicles. So he first took Sally's car, used that, drove it for quite some time, stopped at a rental car place, got another car, drove another 18 hours, stopping only for gas and soda, driving east until he got to Colorado. Then on April 23rd, he made a call to the Santa Cruz police to confess his crimes. At first, they didn't believe him. No, because like it's Big Ed, right?
Yeah.
Like, no way Big Ed is confessing to these unsolved homicides that have been happening around town. No way he's
He's been
joshing us.
expunged. He would
Yeah,
never do that.
never. So, you know, whatever. Ed ends up turning himself into the local police in Colorado. When they transported him back to Santa Cruz, he was interviewed and interrogated and eventually took the police to all the hiding spots of the bodies and body parts. He proved he was the co-ed killer. The police were shocked. They're like, no way, not my beer buddy. They couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe it. Which is ridiculous. Ed ended up pleading guilty to all 8 murders and did not hold back his information either. He took the law enforcement to all the various disposal sites. Ed Kemper was arrested in April of 1973 at the age of 24. At the age of 24, he murdered 6 students and his mother and her friend. He went on trial for his crimes in October 1973. He was found guilty of all 8 murders and served 8 concurrent life sentences, so he's never getting out. And at this time, Ed is still alive. He was denied parole in July of 2024 for the 12th time. His next possibility for parole is in 2031, where he'll be 82 years old.
Wow. Which he's
And
not getting out.
No.
Damn.
That's Ed Gein.
Ed Kemper.
Oh, sorry, Ed Kemper. Sorry. I'm tired.
You're good. You're good.
Is that crazy?
Man, that's crazy. That's stressful. You should just keep on going with the Eds. I wonder how many Eds there are that are serial killers.
I'm gonna get them all mixed
or just
up.
Killers. Yeah.
Because I was talking an attorney. What we were talking about the podcast, not the podcast, the next Netflix series of Ed Gein.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. Like spitting facts, but it was for Ed Kemper. And she was like, are you sure about that? And I was like, no, he killed his mom.
Crap.
She's like, no, he didn't.
I got my killers mixed up.
Whoops and oops.
Let me go into this file.
Okay, I am so excited to hear your story. Can you please tell me?
Yeah. All right. So I have been waiting to at least start this story. So I'm going to tell you guys about the Smurl Family Haunting, aka what the most recent Conjuring movie is based on. No spoiler alerts. I haven't seen the movie.
You haven't.
So nope, I haven't. No, because Josh is terrified, ghosty, scary movies, and he's not here at the moment. So yeah, I'm not going to go see it. So I'll wait till it comes out on Vudu.
I think it already is.
I might have to buy it. Okay. So if you haven't seen it, it's called The Conjuring Last Rites. It is part of the whole Conjuring series and everything.
This is going to be a good episode. 2 big stories.
Mm-hmm. So, from what I'm going to tell you, I got most of my information from a book called The Haunted. It has so much information from the entire case, from different witnesses and different accounts, and it's all true. So, or at least obviously what they say.
Wow.
So the story begins in the 1970s with Jack Smurl, retired Navy vet, neuropsychiatric tech, and devoted Catholic from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, which is not far from where Josh is, or where Josh is from.
I was gonna be
Uh,
like, "Boop.
yeah.
Is it he with you?"
Fast forward to Jack meeting his amazing, also devoted Catholic wife, Janet. They get
Okay.
married, spit out some kids, Dawn, Heather at the time. Then a couple more years, they end up having twins, Karen and Shannon, all girls. So in 1972, due to Hurricane Agnes, their current home became unlivable. So they had to move out. They ended up purchasing a duplex in West Pittston, Pennsylvania in October of
Okay.
1973 for $18,000, which is now $133,668,
That's
which is
still a
still,
really good deal.
yep, not a lot for a duplex.
Yeah.
In the book, it says that his parents moved in first and they kind of invited them. But I
Yeah.
watched an interview of them on YouTube and they said it was the other way around. It doesn't really matter. So in December, his parents, Mary and John, moved in the duplex next door. So it's like, it's really handy. Like they've got 4 girls and 4 like younger kids, and then they have his parents right there that can help out. And also they're also like in the process of renovating and fixing up this whole thing.
Yeah.
So his parents essentially lived in the left or in the right half, and they lived in the left half.
Okay.
And I'm going to be talking about both families. So I'll be
Okay.
going back and forth.
That's fine.
Not only the outside perspective, but the family seemed pretty normal, like an ideal American family,
Yeah.
especially for that time. They were involved in the town, the church, school. Jack and Janet seemed like the perfect couple. Everything was pretty perfect. That is until 18 months or so after moving in.
Can you tell
In
me what year this is
January,
again? Oh, go
what's
ahead.
that?
I was gonna ask what year this is again.
1973, 1974.
Okay.
So, in January of 1974 was when the first odd occurrence began. All right, I'm going to be going through a whole bunch of like long occurrences because they were too good not to write down. So,
Yeah.
it's a lot.
Okay.
So, I'm going to be jumping through everything.
Let's go. We're in it.
So, in January of 1974, when the first odd occurrence began, Mary, the mother-in-law, purchased a brand new red carpet. When the workers laid it out, she noticed that it looked like it had a large grease stain on it. So she
Oh.
had her husband, John, use a cleaning solution on the rug and it completely removed the grease stain, no problem.
Okay.
2 days later, the stain comes back and nothing's been spilled on it. They have no idea how it got there. Like it was clean yesterday.
Yeah.
Weird. So they clean it again and then it comes back again.
Excuse me?
Back and forth, back and forth.
I'd be so mad.
I know, I'd be pissed. So they ended up getting rid of the rug and getting a new one, and the new one didn't have any issues. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the rug.
Yeah.
In the beginning, more odd occurrences involved things like things randomly catching on fire. That's just not really
Excuse
an
me?
odd occurrence. That's like something like, holy shit, we're gonna die.
That's not odd. That's very
Yeah.
actually kind of
And it's not
dangerous.
like it was the oven, it was like the TV. The TV randomly just caught on fire. The stove did catch on fire, and even Jack's car caught on fire.
His car? That's so
The
inconvenient.
radio did.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I don't think it like destroyed the car or anything, but I know the radio like it
I'd be
happened to the radio.
so mad.
Other small things that happened were random maintenance issues around the home. They were completely redoing the house and whatnot, and they were all very handy in the home. Jack completely redid the pipe system in the home, and apparently, whenever he turned them on, even after redoing them and brand new
Yeah.
pipes, they all leaked.
Excuse me?
Maybe it was just bad handiwork, but he resoldered them and they still continued to leak. Again, I don't know. Maybe it's just an excuse to say it was the ghost that did it. Maybe Jack
Mm,
doesn't want to admit that he's not as much of a handyman as he thinks. I don't know. Or maybe it was a ghost.
maybe.
This one seems pretty big. They
Okay.
remodeled their bathroom and added a new porcelain sink and a tub, like
Yeah.
brand new. The next
Yeah.
morning, after it was all finished, they came in to come look at it and they found that the sink and tub were scratched beyond repair,
Are you
like
kidding?
completely scratched, and no one had been in there. Nothing had happened, and it was so bad that it was like chipped, and
Did they
like to
blame
the
the kids
point to
at
where like
first?
something no something should have fallen on it to break this, not just like a person going in there and scratching something
Yeah.
up.
I don't like that.
While this was all
I don't
going
like it.
on, their oldest, Dawn, would run in their room occasionally in the night, and she'd be upset and say that she was seeing people floating around her room.
Oh
Jack,
my god.
like a good
How
dad, would
old
go
was
in
she?
there. I think she was in her teens, her early teens.
I don't like that.
That they jump around because this all happened for such a long time that it's really hard to keep up with the ages. So
It
I just
happened for
know
a
that
long time.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my god.
But yeah, she would run in there and say that there were people floating around in her room. So Jack would go in there and check under the bed, and say everything was fine and, everything would go back to bed and, whatever.
Yeah. He's like,
All
you're
these
crazy. She's like, I'm
yeah,
seeing things, Dad.
they kind of just got used to all this stuff. Everything just became like the norm for the family. They just lived with it.
That's
Other
not
things that would happen would be
okay.
the toilets would flush on their own, fans would randomly spin on their own, drawers would open and close on their own, radios would turn on without being plugged in, which is weird. They'd hear footsteps upstairs when no one was home. They even heard their rocking chairs on the porch rocking one evening, and they would go out and check them, and no one was in them, and they were still moving. They even began to smell
That's
an odor.
freaky.
Yeah. They even began to smell an odor of sulfur. The family couldn't find the source of this smell, so they even called the city to ensure that something wasn't going on because it's like a mining town and
Yeah.
everything was fine. They had no cracks in their foundation. They couldn't figure out why this was happening, and it wasn't all the time either.
Just randomly.
Yep. The family also began to experience more physical occurrences. Jack recalled one night when he thought he felt Janet romantically touch him, and when he sat up, she was sound asleep.
I don't like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it gets worse. One day, the
Great.
kids were at school, and Jack was at work. Janet was at home playing homemaker. While downstairs in the basement, she heard a female voice whisper, Janet, a few times.
Nope.
After she concluded she wasn't imagining it and no one was home, she responded, What do you want? And it said her name again. And she ran off upstairs and prayed with her rosary, like a good Catholic
Understandable.
woman.
Understandable.
So at this point, they've been living there for quite a few years now. And this stuff was all well known and discussed among the family. They didn't dismiss it or anything, just kind of, like I said, lived with it.
Yeah.
It was then when Janet claimed she had seen a dark, smoky humanoid figure with no
Oh
facial
my
features
gosh.
and a cape. She had seen and smelled it. She watched it glide past her and watched it go into the living room. After seeing it, she went next door to tell her mother in law, Mary, about it. But before she could say anything, Mary had this look on her face. And so she let Mary talk first.
Yeah.
And Mary had said, I had just seen some black form come out of the wall,
Oh
walking
my
past me,
gosh.
and it just disappeared. So they
Oh my
concluded that it
gosh.
was the same thing crossing between houses.
Oh my gosh.
For a few weeks to possibly a month, things did stop. The family was relieved, assumed that everything just went away and it was all over.
Well, did the ghost go on vacation? Like, I'm
I guess,
confused.
you should never assume these things. That is
Okay.
until Kim Smurl's, one of the daughters, Catholic confirmation, which is like a big deal in the Catholic community. So it was a big deal. And they were all in the kitchen getting ready. Janet was working on her daughter's dress in there. And suddenly, a chandelier that was hung up had all of a sudden, it was a big chandelier, had all of a sudden fallen down. It was hung up by like 2 rods, and all
Yeah.
of a sudden, both rods broke at the same exact time, and it just fell down. Luckily, most everybody got out of the way except for one of the daughters, Shannon, and she just got like clipped on the head, I think, but I think she was fine,
Yeah.
or I know she was fine. But again, it should not have fallen. They'd had no issues with this chandelier ever, and everything was hung up properly. It was just very random.
Oh my gosh.
So,
That's I'd be so mad that like that chandelier broke. Like that costs money.
right? Yeah, like why are you
Do we
messing with
have
my
to do that?
stuff? Yeah. So, to continue the haunting, again, I told you I'm
Yeah.
going to mention everything that's happening because so much happened. According to the neighbors, they heard activity in the home even when the Smurls weren't home, such as screaming and flapping like wings loudly in the home, like
Oh
big,
my
like
gosh. Like
huge, like
yeah.
yeah.
Ugh.
Um, People were experiencing levitation while sleeping.
Oh
Uh,
my gosh.
When they'd come home, they'd often find the door open, like someone had broken in or just left the door open.
Uh-huh.
The neighbors, who were well aware of the situation, were even affected by this haunting. When Janet visited with some neighbors, she left and unusual things happened in their home.
What?
Members of the family were pulled from beds. The family heard banging sounds from the walls for more than a year. The family also heard this wing flapping sound throughout the home.
Why are
And
we still in the home? Why
yeah,
are we still in the
I
home?
know, like, why do we do this? Uh, they had seen strange mists that form into human figures and would
Oh
just
my
disappear.
gosh.
And the presence seriously affected their emotions, keeping them in a constant fear. Like, of course.
Yeah, I wonder why.
All right, trigger alert. The family had a German Shepherd.
Oh no. I didn't give a trigger alert on mine.
Yeah, I know.
Whoopsies.
There's a lot of poor animal cruelty in this episode. Sorry, PETA. So Simon, the German Shepherd, sweet
Oh
old
no,
Simon.
Simon.
One day, while just laying in the kitchen at his mommy's feet, she was washing dishes.
Oh, I don't like
Janet
this.
had seen Simon lifted from the floor and thrown against the kitchen door.
And he
He got hurt pretty
survived.
good, but he's okay.
Oh,
He survived.
good.
He's a big boy. He's a good boy.
He's like, whoa,
Later,
what was that?
shit. Damn. And this happened again too. I'm pretty sure that day Simon had started crying in the kitchen and like
Oh,
crunching over like he
he's
was
like,
in so
not
much
again.
pain. Janet tried to help him, but there was nothing that she can do but comfort him. And then he went into convulsions.
Oh my
Again,
gosh.
he was okay, but this poor damn dog, this whatever was in there had it out for Simon.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was messed with a lot. Speaking of dogs, next door in the other Smurl house, they
Uh-huh.
had seen a phantom puppy on multiple occasions just disappear,
I don't
like
not
under the
hate that.
couch and just in random areas. It's
I don't I
okay.
don't I don't hate that.
I don't either, but what if the phantom puppy bites? I don't know.
That I would hate.
In another terrible instance, Jack and Janet were woken up by a loud thud and found Shannon, their daughter, down the stairs, slammed into the wall. She was fine and had no idea what had happened. This scared them so bad
Shannon.
that they started searching for help. Like, this is what scared
This
you?
is what scared you.
Like, come on.
Like
Your house caught on fire on multiple occasions. The chandelier fell.
the dog,
The dog was
the
thrown.
the ghost like missed. Like but
Come
like
on.
I understand like yes, your daughter was thrown against the wall. But like that's what it took?
But the dog.
The dog.
So Janet did a lot of research at the library about things like this and found that there were a lot of other cases where people had had issues like this, and like She did her research. So
Good.
the family had 2 priests come to the home. When Father Malone went upstairs, he came down and told the family he could tell there was a presence of something evil. He
You
proceeded to
don't
bless
say.
the home and went on his way. This seemed to calm things down for a few days. Um, that is until Mary Smurl, the mother-in-law, was lifted with her bed, and because her like mattress was in the air, she was forced to jump off the mattress cuz like
Oh my
I
gosh.
don't know what's going to happen, so I need to
Yeah, is
get
it gonna keep
down.
going and, like, go
Yeah,
up to the
we
ceiling
playing
and squish
Aladdin
me?
here?
Oh my
A
gosh.
whole new world.
This is definitely a new world.
She hurt her knees jumping down, poor lady. Um, and they tried blessing the home again, but nothing happened. Finally, a friend gave Janet some information that led the family to Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Yes.
When they went to interview the family, they asked a lot of questions about the family. They walked around the home. They discovered there were 3 spirits around the home. One
Oh.
being a senile elderly woman. They said she was probably crazy, but didn't mean
I love
anything
that.
bad.
I love it. I love it.
Another being an insane violent woman,
My gosh.
and a man who is capable of causing harm. But finally, the one that they were concerned about is the 4th was a demon.
Oh, there it is.
Yep. And the demon
Uh,
demon was not cool.
do you think that the 3 ghosts coincide in the same life realm?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah. And in a sense, yes, because you'll yes.
Okay.
Because there's instances where they catch the ghost like chatting it up and like hanging out.
What?
Yeah, like legit like chatting it up.
I love
So
that.
they said that the demon wanted to cause harm and chaos,
Clearly.
and destroy the family, basically using the spirits as its puppets.
Yeah.
It played off the family's emotions, and even the fact that the girls were going through puberty. That's always a big thing with like demonic like
Yeah.
hauntings and whatnot, is that like when the kids are going through puberty, things are kind of all heightened, just I guess because of all the emotions and whatnot,
Yeah. Yeah.
all the feelings. So, after determining this, they went upstairs and tried to get the demon to show itself. I promise I'm almost done.
You're good.
After listening to Ave Maria and turning out the lights, thank you. I knew you'd know that one. Uh, they turned out the lights, and the mirror and the drawers began shaking. And the
Uh-uh.
TV had turned on and emitted like this. It wasn't like a channel, it was just glowing like super
Yeah.
bright, like
Yeah.
unnaturally bright for a TV. Ed prayed and blessed the room and with holy water, and it all stopped. They believed there would be much more after this.
Yeah. That was just
Ed
the
and
beginning.
Yep. Ed and Lorraine determined the hot spot in the home was Jack and Janet's bedroom, and it was passing through their closet to his parents' house. They gave the family a prayer to say around the home and suggested they call a priest to exorcise the home, and gave them like a list of stuff to get at the church store, and was like, hey, go get some, religious items and let's bless
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
So that night, everything seemed at ease until it woke back up.
Oh gosh.
Starting in Karen and Shannon's room. All started with like a knocking throughout the home, and it just
Oh
got worse
gosh.
and worse and worse. Then Janet and Jack were attacked.
Oh my
Janet was being
gosh.
hit by an unseen force, and things were just going crazy. There were loud banging, Janet's getting hit, the TV turned back on even though it was unplugged, just glowing brightly,
Oh
and
no.
eventually like at 3 a.m. it stopped, or at least it calmed down. As instructed, the family brought some religious objects to the priest to bless. To their surprise, they didn't seem to care much. They blessed the objects. They didn't even use holy water. They were just kind of like, I don't want anything to do with this. So they just sent them on their way and just like, said a couple Hail Marys.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
Things still being active in the home, the knockings continued. Items would go missing. Janet got catcalled in the bathtub. Something was whistling at her like a cat caller.
Kinda
Yeah.
hate that. Kinda
Yeah, like,
hate
damn,
that.
I still look good after 4 kids. Alright.
But also, please don't watch
Oh,
me.
why, thank you. And Jack had seen apparitions of 2 women on several occasions who would just whisper and laugh at him while just and he would just, like from what he explained or what he, like, talks about, it sounds like he was going through, like, sleep paralysis, and he was just, like, sitting there just, like, stuck and just watching it. They're just, like, pointing at him, laughing at him.
That's so embarrassing.
Yeah, I know.
I'd be like, "Oh, here we go again."
Janet attempted to make contact with the spirits on her own, which I feel like she shouldn't have done. One day she had asked it, saying, knock once for yes, twice for no. She asked if it was there to harm the family, and it knocked once. Then she asked if it was there to harm her, and another knock followed. Finally, she asked, do you believe in Jesus Christ? Then, loud banging throughout the home pissed it off Janet. And
Ugh.
yeah, and she recorded it too.
Oh,
I
wow.
meant to find the recording. I'm sure it's online somewhere.
Can
So, yeah,
I make a suggestion to them?
yeah.
So, one time my mom and I when I was younger, I was probably, like, in 5th grade or something, we were camping, and we were on, like, a walk or a run or something, and it was where we were camping was, like it was heavily populated bear country, and so, like, think I was scared of I know I was scared that, like, we would run into a bear. And my mom told me that if you see something evil, don't laugh. I believe this. If you see something and it's truly evil, like a demon or something truly, truly evil, not just like a bad guy, but like a truly evil being, anything, whatever it is, you could say, in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, you must leave me alone. And it has to leave you alone. So maybe they should have just said that.
You know, you are right. Your mom was right. But seriously, and I'm dead serious. Like I laugh because it's because bears. Um, um, no, because that's what the priest would do, and that's what Ed Warren would do is basic. But I think he would
Oh,
say it
okay.
in what's the language? Latin.
Hebrew?
I
Latin?
think he would say
Okay.
it in Latin is in the name of Jesus Christ, you must leave here. But I think that's part of like exercising things. So again,
Interesting. Okay.
I'm almost done. I
Go
have
ahead.
2 more pages, I
You're
promise.
fine.
Okay. So as far as the investigation goes, part of the Warrens team was sent to further question the family. The guy who was sent there asked the Smurls a lot of pressing questions. He had to be really tough on them to make sure that they weren't playing any tricks and being silly and like trying to
Right.
get attention. He just tried to debunk all of their experiences. During his series of questions, knocking erupted throughout the home and was caught on recording. So there's our
He's
proof.
like, "Oh, you
Oh,
want proof? You don't believe me? You don't believe me?
I'm
I'll show
here.
you."
Knock, knock. On another account, another member of the team was sent to basically continue that investigator's work, and the same thing happened with no explanation. So they determined that, yeah, this is legit.
Yeah.
Since their church wasn't being helpful, Ed and Lorraine found a priest to bless the home, which didn't really help, unfortunately. The next step was religious provocation, and this is where Ed performed a religious act that would force the demon to expose itself, invoking the name of Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
banishing the demon from the home. When he came into Jack and Janet's room, he was immediately overcome with something. Then as he began to pray, something grabbed his throat and started choking him. So, to try, because no one was with him in the room. So, I guess there's like a religious thing, like where if you can't speak, you just envision Jesus's light and it's supposed to like protect you. So, I guess he envisioned himself being engulfed with Jesus's light. And at perfect timing, one of the team members walked in and like the situation started calming down.
Oh.
Once he recovered, he started into the room adjacent to theirs, crucifix in hand, praying, and the room's temperature dropped so dramatically to the point that he was shivering.
Oh my gosh.
He claimed he had seen a silvery line like moving in the room, and it was spelling out words, and it said, "You get out, you filthy bastard."
That's rude.
That is rude, and that's where I'm going to end it.
Wait, what?
So it's such a big story. I'm only possibly halfway done. I'm on chapter like 28 of this book, and it's got like 60 chapters. So
Oh
um, I'm
my
hoping
gosh.
it's only going to be a two-parter, but it could possibly be a three-parter. It's a really
Oh
big
my
story, and all
gosh.
these like different occurrences are too good not to put into it. So I'm just trying to give you guys all the juice. The book is called The Haunted, and it's really good. So, yep,
Ah!
that was
So that
part
means we're coming
1
back
of the
next
yep,
week.
Smurl Family Haunting.
Oh, that's wild, Brie. That's so good. It feels like I'm like literally listening to a book because it's so wild.
It's good. It's good.
That was good, Brie.
All
Thank you.
right, you need to go to bed, and you need to take some medicine.
I
Do you have
already
a
have
neighborhood
medicine.
story?
I do have a neighborhood story.
Okay.
So this was posted on Facebook, on the Facebook,
The book face.
the book face, and the person's name is redacted, but it says moon in daylight. I know we recently had a supermoon, but I was wondering why you can still see the moon out during the daylight this morning. You guys,
Hello. Are we new to Earth?
when can I see the moon? When can I see the moon? That's weird.
Have you literally never looked up?
Huh.
Weird.
I thought the moon went down in the morning. I thought it went down. Right?
Wow. Okay.
Just so
They're an
you
alien.
know, it's gonna be out all day. Is that true? You just can't see it. You
Yeah,
see
it's
it.
out all day.
Yeah, you see it better at night because it's not dark or
Because
it's
the
not
shadow's
light.
on it now. Because
Yeah,
the sun's on a different
yeah,
is shining on our side, and the shadow's
yeah,
hitting the moon. It's
yeah.
technically out all the time. You can just see it at night and in the morning because the sun still isn't fully up and it's still hitting part of the moon.
Exactly. When did that get there? I'm sorry. I need to stop.
You sound like Britney Spears on her Instagram, just going off.
Oh my gosh! Look at the new moon, you guys. It's
Amy's
up in
gonna
the
start talking in
sky.
like 12 different accents, dancing around with knives.
Anyways, I thought that was funny. All right, buddy, I'm gonna go. I need to take some medicine or something. I gotta do something about my life.
Have you checked in on the neighbors lately?
What's with the neighbors? No.
Dude, I reversed it.
Yeah,
I threw
you
you
did.
off. I really threw you off. I'm sorry.
I was like, no,
That's my part.
Leon, kitty. What's with the neighbors? Bree and Amy
Out.
out. Psh. Say hi to your cats for us, Leon. Say meow, meow meow.
Don't get dead. Bye, buddy.
Don't get that bad.
What's with the neighbors?
I gotta blow my nose. Hold on.
You're fine.
Oh, so you don't have to hear it.
Oh, gross, Amy. Oh my gosh. Jeez.